Today we're getting a rock for our shed floor, and we chose to get what they call 73s here. It's dust with some of the smaller rocks in it. Before we've had 53s, which goes up to 3/4 of an inch. This doesn't go up quite that big. I think I like the looks of it better for a shed floor. I was going to just have him dump it, and he offered to spread it. And I think he did a pretty good job. So I don't have a lot to do here. That's one big truck load. I ordered 3 big truck loads. Hopefully I'll have enough for inside, but I think I'm going to need some more for the approach and everything. I don't think 3 loads is going to be enough. But I need to get this leveled out before the next load gets here. So let's get started. Lots of different ways of doing this, but this sure is an easy one. This machine is great at doing some leveling, some smoothing. I'm finding it more difficult to, move a huge pile. I'd like to really move a lot of this that way, and I thought I could do it just sideways, but I think it would take a good bit of time like that. Whereas some sort of a blade, a box blade, or other approach that would do that really fast probably wouldn't do the smoothing quite as easily. I could set this a little bit more aggressively, so it was digging a little bit more. That probably would help a little. I think I've got a little bit more out here in the middle than I do on the edges. Now I'll try to move that little windrow I've made up right over against the post. At this point, I'm getting pretty spoiled by Power Rake. When I mention these optimizations that can be done, they really don't need to be. I spent 10 minutes or less total on this particular task. It would have taken me quite a bit more time to do this with a box blade or a loader bucket or any other approach. It's easy to do some of the first leveling, but getting to this really smooth surface is more difficult, at least for me. The Power Rake makes it not challenging at all. Okay, that's pretty good for now. We'll wait on the next truckload. I do think maybe I should get rid of this dirt hump here a little bit. Otherwise, I'm not going to have much rock right there in a critical spot, am I? So maybe I'll just push that over to the side best I can with this rig. Well, I think he's a little bit of a perfectionist. I kind of like that. He said that he's not sure. He's got a different truck, and this particular type of rock, these 73s, they kind of bunch together, and so he's concerned he's not going to be able to spread it good enough. I tried to reassure him it doesn't really matter, but we'll see how it goes. I bet it'll look pretty good. Good enough to me. Well, that's it. Load number 2. Well, I can move a lot more rock with this one. It's hard for me to tell whether we have enough rock out here already or not. That's what we need to find out before the next truck gets here. Now moving around and leveling fresh rock like this is one of the easier things you can do because it's loose, it's not, you know, hard packed. You can do this with almost any attachment, box blade, rear blade, just a bucket like I'm doing. I'm going to see if I can pull some more of it this way with the blade. Push a little bit toward the wall. I'm going to lift up this wing over here, see if I can get it to throw a little more to this side. Putting these wings down makes it behave kind of like a box blade. More so like a box blade than what I realized. This particular power rake we just got from Worksaver, worksaver.com. A lot of dealers around you can get it. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in something like this to purchase online. They are not cheap, but you've seen us use the power rake on the Ventrac. It's an amazingly versatile design. Now today I don't have a hydraulic top link on this machine. The hydraulic top link is a big help, so that's something else to look into if you're thinking about a power rake. For one thing, power rake's very expensive. Hydraulic top link is not, so it's just kind of a very small addition to add to it. But wow, this is working well. You may have already saw this problem, or you may not. I didn't mention it earlier because, well, once you see it, it's all you focus on for this whole video. You'll notice I forgot to put the locks down on the iMatch hitch, and the left-hand lift arm has totally come out. Obviously, I hadn't figured that out yet at the time. I did notice that it was hard for me to angle it, and it didn't seem like it wanted to stay where I was angling it. I couldn't figure out what was going on. As is typical on our channel, we try not to edit out the mistakes. Hopefully, you guys will learn from them. After all, it seems like I don't ever learn from them. Anyway, the biggest lesson I believe is when it isn't behaving like you expect, stop and take a good look. I continued to operate for several minutes, just not being able to figure out what was going on. Now, as it turns out, I didn't bend or break anything to my knowledge, so I guess no harm, no foul, but still a little bit humiliating. Yeah, I suspect we need some more. I haven't got this perfectly level yet. It's a little easier to level with Vinny because you've got that very strict adjustment between those gauge wheels and the rake, you know, and the tractor. So I might let you level a little more, but the question is, do we need more rock? I think the answer is yes. I think I want it up there halfway, at least to the bottom of those boards firmly, and probably a little higher for elevation purposes. We want to make sure we don't get water in there.
Oh, that's a good point. Just in time. Here comes the third truckload. Boy, that rock is just not sliding out. Go forward! Go, go, go! Not pile. Oh well. I thought he was spread it a little bit.
Okay, when I got back to it, I got it fixed this time. I just backed right up over those large piles and I could pull big volumes of rock. There's a little gate of sorts above the rotor. I could lower that manually. It would take some wrenches, but I could lower that and I wouldn't see so many rocks come back over the backside of the rotor. Having said that, for a lot of the applications of this power rake, having the material come back over the back of the rotor is exactly what you want to happen. And that provides that nice, level, smooth surface.
Maybe you could get the Ventrac, Christy. I think it's a little easier to level with it, the final grade. And then, you know, I can help move some too, but I think you might be able to run that thing back and forth and do a real good job leveling here. It'd be nice if we had extra in here, but I think we probably got about the right amount.
It seems like it always takes more rock than you think it ought to. At least it has for our projects. We paid $450 a load delivered for these 73s. I think the 53s, which have a little bit bigger rock in them, were $430 per load. I have no idea how this compares to other areas, but I do know that limestone is plentiful in this area. For a little bit of trivia, Indiana limestone was used for a lot of the federal buildings and monuments in Washington, D.C. Personally, I like the look of the crushed limestone because it's so white from here in Indiana. A lot of places it's blue or gray or, well, some places even orange. Once this stone dries, it'll be white. I find it a little harder to drive right next to something like this with a rear-mounted attachment as opposed to a front-mounted attachment.
What do you think?
Well, now everybody knows what date night looks like at our house.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's pretty consistent, looks to me like. The only thing I could possibly see maybe is a little bit of an angle maybe, because it looks like there might be a hump over there. There may be a little bit of a valley right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think you're going to get that going back and forth straight. You'd almost have to angle. You had done a great job with that, actually. I mean, it's level and smooth as I could imagine.
It looks pretty good.
I cranked it up so it was less aggressive by just a couple of rounds there, and that took out all those, you know, any of the gouges and stuff from the last runs. I think that's about as good as we can expect to get it. You know, this is the same attachment, power rake, as on Johnny.
Yeah.
And the one on Johnny, you know, from Worksaver.com.
Yeah.
By the way, we want to thank Worksaver.com for providing that power rake. It's a really nice one, and it'll do the job. It's incredible. For a tractor, it's just an incredible machine. The interesting thing is that how much handier this one feels, not because of the power rake being any different, but because it's more compact. The distance between the front wheels here of the tractor and the gauge wheels and everything is all more compact. That 3-point hitch mount makes it harder for keeping things kind of level.
I was going to say it's because it's out front and I can see it easier.
There's no question that's better, and the articulation, you can guide it, and it's just handier to use. But having said that, that's the best you can get for a tractor.
Yeah.
And a power rake, I had no idea when we started this channel, I had no idea what a power rake would do.
It's pretty amazing, actually. Either one of them, the function is amazing.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that a homeowner probably, most homeowners just wouldn't be able to swing.
Right.
But if you're doing any sort of contract work for anyone, a power rake, it's universal. It can do so many different things.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that does it for this episode, Christy. So the next step out here is to put up the hoops. I've started assembling them inside. It's not hard at all. We'll show you some of that in a later episode, and hopefully we'll have a whole gang here with that assembly again. That'll be a lot of fun.
I hope so. That was a whole lot easier.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. Oh, hi, Martha. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. You're whining because of all this noise, aren't you? Come on. He'll come to you maybe because you're not on the tractor.
Come on. Come here.
Oh, but if you come toward the tractor, he won't.
Come here. Yeah. Come here. Yeah. You got your motor on. Yes, you do. Now you want up there? Oh, you got my sweatshirt all dirty.
Yeah.